King Charles reveals the hidden truth about Princess Diana, a revelation that could redefine the monarchy. For decades, the whole world has been fascinated by the smallest details of the royal drama. The gilded corridors of Buckingham Palace are filled with whispers of secrets and scandals that have fueled headlines from London to Los Angeles. Yet, amidst the glamorous magazines and tabloid revelations, a chapter in the history of the British monarchy remains unfinished: the tragedy of Charles I and Princess Diana. Today, at 76, the king has broken the silence. No carefully crafted statement from the palace, no measured statement, just a brutal and honest confession that has shaken the foundations of the House of Windsor and left even the most seasoned royal observers speechless. Why did Charles choose this moment to open the safe? Secrets buried beneath the surface of Britain's most famous love story. And what does this revelation mean for the future of a monarchy already weakened by modernity? The icy silence of a prince bewildered by his destiny for most of his life. Charles carried the weight of crushing expectations from a young age. As the eldest son of Queen Elizabeth II, he was destined to wear the crown, but destiny, as we have learned, is always more complex than it seems for Charles. It came with his own personal sense of repressed desire and a doctrine of duty that left deep scars. When Lady Diana, adored by the public and nicknamed the People's Princess, entered the royal family, the world idealised this union. A shy young schoolteacher becoming the future Queen of England, a prince finally ready to commit and modernise the monarchy. But behind closed doors, the reality was much darker. Since Diana's tragic death in 1997, Charles remained unmoved, respecting the royal code of silence, despite documentaries, biographies, and even Hollywood adaptations of their tumultuous relationship. Charles remained in the shadows, letting others tell his story. Until today, a legacy under threat. Why? Now, this timing is not trivial. Sources close to the king speak of the growing pressures surrounding his reign, between persistent rumours about his health, the rise of Republican sentiment in the United Kingdom, and the tensions caused by the shocking departure of Harry and Meghan. Charles reportedly realised that the monarchy can no longer afford ambiguity. But there is more to it. It seems that this deep introspection was born from a private conversation with Prince William. The father and son, long resting on questions of modernisation and tradition, have found a basis for discussion in recent years. A courtier is said to have confided. The king wants to re-establish the truth, not only for public opinion, but especially for his sons. While Diana is perceived as a martyred saint by a large part of the public, Charles has often been portrayed as the villain of the story. This confession seems to be his attempt to regain control of the narrative. The untold revelation in Diana was made in a conversation with an inner circle later divulged by a courtier. Charles is said to have described a much more complex Diana than she has always been presented. She was dazzlingly brilliant, but also fragile. He is said to have confided. Diana was not simply a victim of circumstance. She was a storm unto herself, while the world saw her as a victim of a stifling royal system. Charles's words suggest a much more strategic woman, capable of using her popularity as a double-edged sword. She could captivate, a play of a simple smile, but she also knew how to turn public opinion against you. Would he have continued this confession? It redraws the picture we thought we knew of Diana. Media manipulator Charles, overwhelmed by his young wife's public outburst, the story takes an unexpected turn. The shadow of Camilla is impossible to evoke Charles and Diana without mentioning that Emil Parker B, today who has been dating for years, Camilla was the ghostly presence hovering over Charles and Diana's marriage, the other woman the tabloids loved to hate. Charles even mentioned Camilla in her confession. I failed both of them. Camilla suffered in silence, and Diana suffered in public. Neither deserved this for the first time. Charles seems to acknowledge his responsibility, a major upheaval for a royal family accustomed to shying away from emotions in public. The secret archives of Windsor. Inside sources claim that Charles ordered the opening of certain confidential files kept in the royal archives at Winston Churchill. These documents allegedly contain private exchanges between Charles and Diana and senior royal advisors, revealing the underlying story of the implosion of their marriage. The question is, will these documents ever be made public? Some believe the king is preparing a carefully orchestrated partial disclosure to preserve the monarchy while diffusing criticism, already dubbed the Diana dossier by the press. These documents are arousing all sorts of covetousness. The Windsor clan is dividing reactions behind the palace walls. The explosion was immediate. Prince William, usually reserved, is said to be torn, a fierce defender of his mother's legacy but aware of the need to ease tensions. William is said to be facing a moral dilemma. Prince Harry, now estranged from the crown, is said to have reacted angrily. A close friend of the Sussexes reports that Carrie considers his father's remarks an attempt to rewrite history. As for Queen Camilla, she was reportedly taken aback by her husband's confession after years of trying to restore his image. This revelation could reignite tensions, old grudges. Diana's friends speak out. Diana's close friends were quick to react. Rosa Monckton, one of her most loyal friends, expressed her skepticism. Diana was complex, yes, but she was fighting against a machine much more powerful than her. Others believe that Charles's confessions come too late. Apologies behind closed doors are not enough to repair the wounds caused over the decades, laments a historian. A new debate on the monarchy. Charles's revelation has rekindled debates on the future of the monarchy in the face of the demands of the 21st century. Public opinion is divided. Some praise the king's courage in finally facing his troubled past. Others denounce a clumsy, even cynical, communication strategy. Social media is ablaze. Hashtags, and hashtags like confessionchilies and truth are already dominating the trends. Editorialists say that every word implies a redemption or a fall. The future will tell whether this confession will allow Charles to restore his image, long tarnished by the tragedies of his past, or whether it will precipitate the breakup of a monarchy on the defensive. What is certain is that this revelation marks a turning point. The monarchy could well be on the cusp of a new earthquake where raw emotion, ghosts of the past, and modernity collide. The final act for now. Charles has just lifted the veil on one of the most tragic and complex stories of the British royal family. But this saga is far from over. Diana's shadow still hangs over the crown, and perhaps, paradoxically, has never been more present. One thing is certain: history has been rewritten, and the echoes of this confession will resonate far beyond the walls of Buckingham. Thank you all for watching. I hope you found this video informative and enjoyable. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on royal events and fashion insights. Stay tuned for more content, and I'll see you in the next video.